Hello, Canucks fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Canucks Conversation, brought to you by HSBC World Rugby Sevens. Western Canada's largest sporting event. This year is the 9th time the event has visited Vancouver as part of the World Rugby Sevens series. From February 23rd to 25th, grab your friends and your best costume and head on down to BC Place to catch 12 women's and 12 men's sevens teams, including 2 Canadian squads, take to the pitch for 3 full days of jam-packed rugby and partying. Tickets on sale now at vansevens.com, starting from just $40 per day. And if you want to go, we've got a 4-pack of tickets for the entire weekend to give away. Text hashtag sevens, that's SEVENS, to 778-402-9680 for your chance to win. We will be giving away a 4-pack each week until the event. Text hashtag sevens to 778-402-9680. My name is David Gugelli. That is Harmon Dial. Our technical producer is Grady Sass, and our intern is Lachlan Irvin. And today, it's a team day off for the Vancouver Canucks. So on today's episode of Canucks Conversation, we're going to be redrafting the 2016 NHL Entry Draft. We threw this idea out yesterday. I'm excited for this, man. I think it's gonna be very fun. And obviously, it was under the guise, as people can read in the show description, whether you're on YouTube or the podcast, it was under the guise of seeing where that fraud, PL Dubois, would end up going in a redraft.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I think we're gonna probably disagree on stuff, and it's always fun when we disagree.
Yeah. I came into the studio joking with you that I was gonna have him in the 6th round, but I don't have him in the 6th round. Do you want to just get into this? Do you want to start it?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, we're gonna start the YouTube clip though. We have to clip it for YouTube. All right, so we're going to redraft the 2016 NHL Entry Draft, see where Pierre-Luc Dubois falls, see who the Canucks end up taking at 5th overall. And we know this exercise has been done before, but this is with the complete benefit of hindsight up to this current date. And let's see who we come up with. Okay.
First 15 picks.
First 15 picks. Yes, I should have said that. First overall, Austin Matthews.
With the first overall pick of the 2016 NHL Entry Draft, the Toronto Maple Leafs select PL Dubois.
Stop. Be serious.
Okay, it's Austin Matthews.
Is this how you feel with me when I do that to you?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's annoying.
Well, would you not want to send Dubois to Toronto?
Yeah, no, you're right. Good take, Arm. Okay, so Austin Matthews.
Wait,
number
you
one.
guys forgot to thank the previous Stanley Cup winner and the current draft host for their nice hospitality.
No,
and
I hate that.
to mention Matthews is from Scottsdale. Come on.
Best thing about Patrick Allvin is he walks up to the stage and just says the player's name.
I love it.
If he could, he wouldn't say the player's team name. He would just say the player's name. That was it. If it was up to him, I'm sure.
Or he'd just say the pick is in. And just leave it up to everybody else to figure out who it is. Check NHL Central Registry.
Jeez. Okay, number 2 to Winnipeg. Not Patrick Laine.
Adam Fox.
I have Matthew Tkachuk.
I will take a number 1 defenseman.
Fair enough.
Who's won a Norris Trophy
Great
over a winger.
How technical do we want to get? Does Adam Fox sign in Winnipeg? We have the full benefit of hindsight, and I didn't want to have to do this.
Okay, I don't want to
get
get into that.
No, we don't have to get into that. You're right. Purely based on talent, sure. Adam Fox might be too. I think there's a good case to be made for Matthew Tkachuk as well, who obviously has, proven himself to be quite the playoff performer. And I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about this Jets team, and obviously right now they could certainly use another 40 goal scorer and a power forward, the guy who fits the bill of Matthew Tkachuk. And I know he's not having maybe the best season right now, but I'm going to stick with Matthew Tkachuk at number 2. Number 3.
By the way, we should also clarify, at least for my purposes, I didn't look at which team owned what pick and was drafting based off need or anything. I'm just going purely off players.
Totally. Yeah. I'm just talking with the full benefit of hindsight and where these players are at now and all that sort of stuff. Columbus, I've got Adam Fox, number 3.
I've got Charlie McAvoy, number 3. Again, I think McAvoy is on the fringes of, I don't think he's quite top 5 defenseman in the league, but definitely top 10 because sure, he may not have the splashy point totals, but defensively, he's one of the best shutdown defensemen in the NHL, and he can still chip in. Like, he had 52 points in 67 games last year, on pace for 62 points this year. If you've got a guy that can put up 60-ish points and give you elite level defense, that's a guy you build an entire blue line around. I'd take that over a winger just because I think I put the positional premium on centers and defensemen usually.
Corey Anderson in the YouTube live chat Quads with the hot take. A team could use a 40-goal power forward. Corey comes for my hot takes every day. And folks, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can find us at 2 p.m. live on the Canucks Army YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe. We do this show live. We interact with our listeners. Let's keep going with this segment here. I had Charlie McAvoy number 4 to Edmonton. Number 4. You have Matthew Tkachuk,
Yeah.
I hope. Okay,
Matthew Tkachuk,
good.
yeah.
So you have Matthew Tkachuk 2 spots lower than I do. So there's our first real disagreement. Number 5 to Vancouver. Who falls?
Clayton Keller.
I also have Clayton Keller. Clayton Keller is a Vancouver Canuck if you do a redraft.
Especially
Calgary?
because
Yeah.
like he doesn't play with other star talent. So for him to put up the point totals that he does, I think he had like 86 points last year. What would he be in Vancouver? He'd be knocking on the door of 90 to 100 points.
And of
Easy.
course, he's the 39th overall pick in this draft. And I think it was Sam Wilson that brought it up. Someone brought it up in the YouTube live chat. Yeah, Jeremy Lee. He said 2016 is a weird draft. Many scouts got it wrong. You and I obviously were doing our homework for this draft. You look back, and one guy who's obviously going to get brought up on our lists in the top 15 is Jesper Bratt, who went in the 6th round to the New Jersey Devils. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that he ended up going that low, and the impact player that he is, pretty crazy to look back on. Okay, number 6 to the Calgary Flames. I have Alex DeBrincat.
I have Jesper Bratt.
Oh, that high.
I think, yeah, because I consider him a true play driver.
Nice.
I think he's somebody that can create chances on his own. Whereas DeBrincat, I love his goal scoring. He has unbelievable point totals, but he needs to play with somebody like Larkin to put those numbers up. He needs a prime Patrick Kane, like he did in Chicago, to produce those types of numbers. Whereas, yes, Jesper Bratt has also played a lot with Jack Hughes, but he can also drive play himself. Whereas I think DeBrincat is more of a one-dimensional finisher.
Also, I think I jumped the gun, and when you were talking about Clayton Keller, I started explaining who Alex DeBrincat is when I said 39. Okay. You were talking
Keller
about
went
Clayton
7.
Keller. I don't know why I jumped ahead, but yes, I have DeBrincat as well. Okay. So we're going to have a disagreement here because you have Bratt a lot higher than I do, and we didn't look at each other's lists. Yeah, I had Bratt lower, but I think there's a serious case for Bratt to be higher.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy, he's got 49 points in 46 games this year, 32 goals and 73 points last year. It was around a point per game the year before. And again, I think he is the type of player that, whereas DeBrincat probably in terms of overall impact isn't quite as valuable as the point totals would indicate. I think Bratt is a player who's probably a little bit more valuable than the point totals would indicate.
Interesting. I want to change mine on the fly because I don't know. Okay, let's go through it. I won't change my list. My list, but I think I may want to.
Yeah, I'm not allowing that. You got to stick to it.
I will. I will
be
stick
stern.
to it. Okay. Arizona has the next pick. I have Tage Thompson.
Me too.
Okay.
About time.
Buffalo. Mikhail Sergachev is who I threw down there.
So I went back and forth on this. It's a coin flip for me between Hronek and Sergachev.
Yeah.
I initially went Sergachev, then I flipped to Hronek.
I actually did the opposite. I had Hronek and I went to Sergachev, one spot ahead.
See, here's the thing. Sergachev last year broke out as a legit number one defenseman.
Better than Victor Hedman.
But then he struggled in the playoffs.
Yep.
And this year, he's been injured as well, but has struggled. I'm honestly torn on this. I don't know what the right answer is. I'll lean towards Sergachev just because Hronek has the benefit of playing alongside Hughes right now. And we haven't seen Sergachev. He has never had a partner of that caliber.
Sure, absolutely.
And he had a way better team in Tampa kind of coming up after the draft as well. But then you can also be like, well, Hronek's a right shot, and those guys are premium pieces in the NHL. So I think you can make an argument either way.
I think I'd probably be more comfortable with Sergachev driving his own pair.
Yeah.
But Hronek's a better fit to play alongside an elite defender like
Sam
Hughes.
Wilson. Sam Wilson bringing it back a few picks here. He has a problem with us putting Tage Thompson behind Alex DeBrincat.
Yeah.
I haven't picked DeBrincat yet.
I have.
So you went with the undersized goal scoring winger over the big, strong.
I know.
First line center.
I know. It's like,
Well, he's
You-
also one of the worst defensive players in the NHL.
I know.
Look
and
at
you
the
look
team he
back.
plays on. But
You
yeah.
look
Well,
back.
yeah. I mean, why do you think they're one of the worst defensive teams in the
I
NHL?
know.
Because Thompson is like awful defensively.
Yeah. So there's a case to be made in both places. It's interesting. It's an interesting conversation. I mean, I'm more interested your picks 10 to 15 because we're at pick number 10 now. Or no, we're not. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we are at 10.
I'm surprised Quads hasn't picked a goalie yet.
No goalies. No
There's
goalies
no-
on the list.
Oh,
We
what
don't
is
have
that?
any goalies. I mean,
Who's making these rules?
yeah, I don't know. I'm
You
not
wouldn't have
taking a
Philip
goalie.
Gustafson out around there?
No,
No.
Carter Hart?
No.
Although-
no, I'm not taking any goalies in this one. Okay, we're at number 9 with the Montreal Canadiens. I mean, the teams don't really matter, but the Canadiens did have the 9th pick here. I went Philip Hronik. I know you did as well. Originally the 52nd overall pick in the second round
Yeah.
from
great
Detroit.
pick
And
for
again,
them.
you look at this draft, one of the most interesting drafts for us to dive into here. Colorado, I had Jordan Kyrou.
This is where I have to bring it.
Okay. Do you have Kyrou yet?
I don't. I have him in my list later on, though.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
I'm not
I
the
had
biggest fan.
I was about to say, oh, you have DeBrincat ahead of Kyrou, but then I realized I have DeBrincat about 6 spots ahead of Kyrou.
Yeah.
Where I think I may disagree a little bit is putting Kyrou behind Jesper Bratt. And I have Bratt right behind Kyrou, but just looking at what they've done in their careers to this point. And again, I'm also looking at the fact that Kyrou plays center.
No, he
a right-
doesn't.
Yeah,
He's
he
a
does.
winger.
No, he's not. He's a center.
Kyrou's a pure winger, dude.
No, he's not.
He is, dude.
Why do I have this wrong?
He's one
then?
of those hybrid types.
When has Kyrou played
Now I
center?
have to
He's
look up
listed
his-
on Hockey DB as a
Don't
center.
trust
Now I have to
Hockey
look-
DB.
He's listed everywhere. He's listed on NHL.com as a center.
Dude,
Now I have to
Check
look at
his fantasy position eligibility.
fantasy. This is real life.
He plays
Brady.
right.
He
wing.
has like 10 faceoffs in his career.
Dude.
Okay, so he's not a center.
Drafted as a center, converted to winger, perhaps?
Yeah, so with
He's
the
like-
benefit of hindsight, you
He's
draft
like
a guy
Connor
as a
Garland
center.
size.
So with
Do
the
you think
benefit
he's a
of
center?
He's listed at 6'1", 196.
I know, but he's so light. He's a
So-
winger. Trust me.
so with the benefit of hindsight, you draft a guy to be center and he can't be a center. You're right. Jordan Kyrou does drop a little bit here. Okay, so I had Kyrou. Jesper Bratt Jesper Bratt is my next pick at Ottawa's pick at number 11. Who did you have there? Or excuse me, who did you have at Colorado? Oh, that was
I had
DeBrincat.
DeBrincat,
Okay,
yeah.
who do you have with Ottawa?
I have Chikrin.
Chikrin. Okay.
Yeah, I value the defenseman higher. I know Kyrou has flashy point totals, but he's a nightmare when it comes to defensive play, turnovers. There's a reason why Blues fans have turned on him.
Wow.
Not only this year, but last season as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah.
After he signed the big contract, he's just not. Let me put it this way: I wouldn't trust him as one of my face of the franchise type players.
Almost
I don't
like
see the-
PL Dubois.
Yeah, you might say. So I'll take Chikrin because I know Ottawa isn't having a good year, but Chikrin has actually been playing
Do you
well.
do you I don't know, do you take the injury history as well into account when you're looking with
Yeah.
the full benefit of hindsight? Also, there's no goalies. People were like, someone in the chat, he's not in this draft, but they're like, Thatcher Demko deserves to be a top 15 pick in his draft. He's not in this draft.
Yeah.
But that maybe this will be our offseason content is redrafting a lot of these drafts. We'll see if we continue to do this. Okay, let's move on here. People are wondering why we don't have Patrick Laine.
There's a
redraft.
hot take coming up.
Yeah, okay. Sam Wilson says Laine still has 388 points in 480 games. And I hear you. So I have Jesper Bratt to Ottawa. I agree. Too low. Should have been higher in mine. New Jersey, I've got Jacob Chikrin. Who do you have for New Jersey before we get to the next one?
I've got Sam Girard.
Okay.
And I'm sure people will be like, oh, undersized defenseman. To me, he's a top 4 defenseman who drives play. And the fact that he doesn't put up huge point totals because he doesn't run a power play is actually a feature because he's not gonna put up the point totals to command a huge contract. So
Okay.
he's always gonna be a player that he's locked up for $5 million now.
Yep.
I think that's a great contract. Whereas part of the reason I have Laine lower is because he's the type of player that he's completely one-dimensional. All he does is score, massive defensive liability, doesn't drive play, doesn't make any of his teammates better. But the problem is point and goal totals drive contract value. So he's always going to be the type of player that is going to make more than what he's actually worth.
Yeah, I also have him as my next pick. I have him down at my Carolina pick. So I'm one behind you. You've got Girard one spot ahead. I've got Girard there with Carolina. So who do you have in the Carolina spot? At number 14 for those, or excuse me, 13 for those keeping track.
I've got Kyrou there.
Okay, you got Kyrou. I had Kyrou higher. Probably agree that I definitely know I should have had Bratt higher, and I know I should have Kyrou lower as well. Okay, Boston. This is pick number 14. This is where I have Patrick Laine.
I've got your boy PL Dubois.
You have Dubois ahead of Laine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'll take the big-bodied centerman who, sure, he's not always consistent with his engagement, but he's a two-way beast when he is engaged. We've seen it at points in the playoffs. And I mean, honestly, yes, he's got this reputation now, but talk to any Jets fans about Dubois' tenure in Winnipeg. He didn't dog it. He did not dog it in Winnipeg. Yeah, he didn't want to stick around.
Got cold.
But he was an effective force there. And he's consistently been a guy that, yes, he's having a down year now, but has pretty regularly put up 25 plus goals and 60 points. Big bodied center. I'll take that over the one-dimensional sniper.
Yeah, and you look at, especially with the benefit of hindsight, Laine's broken 30 goals the last time, 2018-19. Hasn't done it since.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're absolutely correct, actually. That's probably where, as much as I love the bit of getting Dubois to the second round somehow, that is probably an appropriate place for him to be taken. So Boston, PL Dubois, that fraud in a redraft, goes 14th overall to the Boston Bruins. Minnesota at 15. Do you want to go to 15?
Yeah,
is Laine completely out of your top 15?
Well, originally it was, but then I was like, am I being too mean? I was considering putting Brandon Hagel there just because I like those hardworking type guys who
likewise.
He's going to put up 64 points last year. He's going to be in 60 plus points. Plus he has speed, can kill penalties, good two-way guy, drives play. He's not going to end up with a bad contract potentially like Laine is, but okay, I can't reach that much. At a certain point, Laine does score and produce so much that you can't overlook it. So as much as I like Hagel and was tempted by about the idea of keeping Laine out of my top 15 entirely, I don't think I can. I'm going to round up my top 15 with Laine.
Laine is your Dubois.
Yeah.
This is awesome. We found the two players. I don't like Dubois. You really don't like Laine. I had Brandon Hagel and Michael Esimont, or however you say his name.
Like Laine wanted so badly to do the Tage Thompson thing and switch from wing to center. He was awful at it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why were you so adamant about wanting to switch to center when at wing you're one of the worst defensive players in the NHL?
Yeah.
You
Like,
just hate video games, Harm. Just admit it. Big gamer Patrick.
Yeah,
Laine.
exactly. I hate his video game tendencies.
Bad habits.
No time
Can't
for
win with
Fortnite.
that. Yeah. I found, who was it? Who did I pull up that had the same birthday as me? That I was like, oh, you can win with a birthday like that. Who was it? It was right before the show. It was some name that shouldn't be mentioned, but he had the same birthday as me. I don't know why I can't remember.
Levy.
Wait, was it Sam Girard? No, it wasn't Girard. Yeah, so of course, Ollie Levy goes 5th overall in this draft. I need to find it. Someone had the same birthday as me. Ryan Lindgren. There it is.
He's a good player.
Yeah, and he's got a birthday you can win with and some facial hair you can win with. Look at that mustache on Ryan Lindgren. Yeah, same birthday. Although different year by 2. Anyways, okay. Honorable mention to Ross Colton, says Sam Wilson in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, also, here's one for both of us to weigh, because the two players we dislike. PLD for 7 more years or Laine for 2 more years?
Laine.
I'd have to really think long and hard about that because
Hardest thing to do in the NHL is to score goals. And he went to Columbus when he had John Tortorella as his coach, and they've been a disaster the last few years. Look, I'm not praising him by any means, but I just think shooting talent alone, especially how good he was when he came in, and you got some contract flexibility there.
So you think so you would take Laine, Grady, is what you're saying? You would rather have Laine for 2 more years than PLD for 7? I disagree.
Coming into this season, I would have said Dubois.
Sure.
But now that he's got that big price tag in term, I don't know.
But now I'm going big brain galaxy mode here and saying the cap's going up. There's a world where the final years of that Dubois contract
Yeah.
are like
Well,
a
and
steal.
Kopitar is not going to be around forever, right?
Yeah, I'm going Dubois.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
Especially
saying
because
you want Dubois.
Laine can't stay healthy. He's only played 18 games this year, only 55 games
That's a good
last
point.
year, 56 games the year before, and even in the shortened 6-game season, he only played 45 games. So the guy can't stay healthy. He's made of glass.
That's fair.
You got all that hindsight. And I could have looked up Jordan Kyrou's face-off stats.
Setter Jordan
Yeah,
Kyrou.
noted
I was
center.
like, what?
Okay. Yeah, a lot of feedback here. A lot of feedback. Anything else you wanted to get to in this redraft segment? This took us about 20 minutes, but anything else you wanted to get to in the redraft segment before we move on?
No, I think.
What was your favorite
went
part of
through
this
it.
exercise? Because people are saying in the chat, which I appreciate, people are pointing out that we still need to do our, and this is off-season content.
Yeah.
We still need to do our. You remember how we graded all the trades that the betting regime made? That the Alvin Rutherford regime has made. We got to go back and do the betting one. And I think it'll be more interesting in the offseason when presumably this management regime has gone out and made a big splash instead of little move here that's worked, made a big splash. How has their big splash looked in hindsight by the time we get to the offseason? Like, what does Elias Lindholm look like on this team? What did they give up to acquire him when we look back?
We did that exercise, and like a few minutes after they traded for Zadorov, which
that's
has
right.
been a win.
That was that day. That's
Yeah.
right. And that's another win. Another win. Okay. What was your favorite part of the exercise, Harm?
I think just figuring out which guys I don't like.
Yeah.
To, like, who's my PL Dubois, right?
Yeah. And it's Laine.
It's Laine. I'm also not a huge Kyrou fan.
Yeah, you really don't like Kyrou.
And
I think Kyrou's good.
he's good, but
Noted center.
I just don't like small. I mean, he's not that small, but he's light. Doesn't win puck battles. Turns pucks over. Bad defensively.
Do you want to hear a hot take?
I think I don't like that player type. Is the guys that pad their stats and can put up a lot of points and goals are power play merchants, but don't actually help their line mates.
Trevor Holness bringing up, and we'll get to that in a sec. Sorry. Trevor Holness in the Facebook chat bringing up a really good point. The Horvat trade wasn't a big splash. He asked because I said they haven't really made a big splash. Absolutely correct. It was a big splash. It was. That was
too.
Hronek and Horvat were the two that we really graded them on, where we said, okay, this was them trying to make a big impact on the team. Full marks. We both gave them wins on that one. What I was trying to say is they'll have another one to their name in a season where it really, really matters. Like, not that those trades didn't matter, but this is a trade that they're going to make to give this team the best chance at winning the Stanley Cup this season. And, it might have other stuff attached to it as well. I'm just interested to see what it looks like when we have one more trade, because look, Jim Benning tried to make a lot of big splashes. He was just jumping into the shallow end, unfortunately.
I think we were last time the Canucks were aggressive buyers for getting the Toffoli because they were like a fringe playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
We must have been like 11 or 12 years old, literally.
What, when they were really aggressive buyers?
Yeah. And like not
Toffoli.
Yeah, not Toffoli, because they weren't cup contenders that year. That was more to replace
deadline?
Besser.
What did they do at the 2015
I don't think they did anything much.
Grady, you're older. Can you help us out here? When was the last big trade?
The year before they made the Luongo trade, and then the year before that was Derek Roy, Sammy Paulson, which didn't really work out.
But that counts, adding at the deadline. They were legit contenders.
For sure.
So
but that was also Mike Gillis.
Yeah. So Mike Gillis regime.
2015.
They sold in 2015. Like after.
Well, the year after, remember, people were pissed because they didn't trade for Bada and Hamhuis.
Yeah.
The 2015 regime's big
Brandon
splash
McMillan
ahead of the trade deadline. I'm gonna let you guess, Harmon. He was traded to the Calgary Flames for a second-round pick that turned out to be
Sven Baertschi.
Oh,
Rasmus Anderson.
Yeah.
It was Sven Baertschi. That was their big trade. And hey, I remember being 15 at the time and thinking Sven Baertschi's awesome.
You know what?
Yeah.
That actually, the idea of giving up a second-round pick for Baertschi,
That was a good process.
I actually don't mind the process at all. It's just unfortunate that the second-round pick turned into Anderson, and the bigger problem was that they continued firing those darts, just traded all their second and third round picks away for these reclamation project type guys, most of which didn't even hit the way Berchi at least provided some NHL value for a couple
He
seasons.
was good with Horvat just because they had nothing. Remember Berchi, Horvat, and Besser. Now, the problem, of course, with Berchi was his concussions, and they had given him like a multi-year extension, which then got messy. You remember they sent him down to Utica, and poor guy was going through it mentally. But yeah, I think, and also too, you don't know at the time that they're going to get a right shot defenseman in Rasmus Anderson. So it wasn't the worst bet to make. It's just the end result doesn't look back favorably.
Okay, I got a hot take.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not even a hot take at this point because he's really, like, he's gone through a lot of stuff and he's starting to figure it out now. I shouldn't say figure it out, but he's starting to really get back to who everybody thought he was going to be. Connor Ingram will be at least a top 3 goalie from that draft class. You know, you've got Philip Gustafson, you've got Carter Hart. Connor Ingram's going to be a top 3 goalie from that draft.
That's not even a hot take. I'm with you.
I like Connor Ingram a lot.
One. He's been
good Sasky boy. Yeah. Hairline's just leaving him. I feel him. Okay, let's get to our anyone else segment because the chat is very active about this segment. So I'm excited to see what the chat has for us today. Let's get to anyone else presented by DoorDash. Oh, wait, don't do that. Grady, sorry.
Dude, I just changed it. Come
on.
I
forgot to mention that whole 2016 redraft segment was brought to you by the Wendy's Daily Faceoff Survivor Pool game. Shots on goal, goals against average, and points per game can make or break your week, but don't overlook BPMM Wendy's Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt. Sure, it may not help you win weekly prizes with Wendy's and Daily Faceoff Survivor Pool Fantasy, but unlike my predictions, unfortunately, this week, it never disappoints. So try your luck, but don't push it because the Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt is only back for a limited time. If you miss it, you won't get a second chance. Sign up for Daily Faceoff Survivor Pool Fantasy today, sponsored by Wendy's and the Wendy's app. Now it's time for anyone else. Presented by DoorDash. It's our listeners' chance to get involved and hit us up in the YouTube live chat. And it's also our listeners' chance to get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more. That's right. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when they download the DoorDash app and enter code NATION25. That's all capital letters, NATION, and the numbers 25. Offer valid in Canada, subject to exchange. Terms apply. Okay, I gave you lots of time to get your anyone else's in. And Jeremy Lee has started the exercise. He said reviewing Benning's trades, and man, are they underwhelming. Yeah, especially with hindsight. What was one trade from the Benning regime? This is my anyone else. I want chat to get involved too. What was one trade from the Benning regime where you remember everybody thinking it was a slam dunk and it turned out not to be that? I have one at top of mind, so I can give it to you if you want to think about it a little.
I got Jason Dickinson.
Jason Dickinson? Okay, yeah, Jason Dickinson's one of them. I will say to a maybe less so, but the first one that comes to mind is Derek Pouliot. Andre Pedan for Derek Pouliot. Go there. Everybody thought Derek Pouliot was going to be like a top 4 defenseman when he came to Vancouver. I remember the narratives around the Pouliot trade. All I remember, I don't know who it was. It was an old host at 1040. I was listening in the car, and all I remember is hearing Benning on the radio station at the time. And the host, I don't know who it was. It may have been our own Matt Scares. Maybe it wasn't Scares, but whoever it was said,
let's just say it was,
like, was giving him his flowers for that Pouliot trade. Like, just like, how did you find this guy? This looks like a slam dunk. And like, he was
an 8th overall pick, right? Yep. And kind of fell out of favor in Pittsburgh. And if you remember too, he was on those wagon Portland Winterhawks teams
with
which Travis Green and Sven Berchi and who else?
Seth, the whole band.
Seth Jones, I think Ryan Johansson, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but
you know what? One I liked
funny.
Quickly was acquiring Josh Levo for Michael Garconi, which is funny looking back now.
I love Levo. I love that trade. And now, I put that as a rare win of that regime.
And now Garconi's like one of the best goals per 60 rate scorers in the league.
But he plays like 10 minutes a night in Arizona. He's falling out of favor. I think he's just on a shooting percentage bender.
It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
But that guy had toiled around in the minors for so long, and like full credit to him for, you know, locking down a spot and producing at the start of the year.
Where's Derek Pouliot playing this year? The Texas Stars in the AHL. He has 27 points. Because I pulled up his hockey DB page because you're talking about the
You don't know that off the top of your head? Come on.
We're talking about the wagon Portland Winterhawks teams he's on. He wasn't like, again, I didn't watch the Portland Winterhawks in his draft year, but like for a defenseman of the WHL to get drafted 8th overall, and he's offense first. You would think, he's got to put up a good amount of points. His point total in his draft year, 72 games, 11 goals and 48 assists for 59 points. Those are like Jet Wu numbers.
Well, no, that's like Jet Wu a year older.
Draft year Jet Wu. Hang on.
I don't think draft year Jet Wu.
Yeah, draft year Jet Wu, it was close, but a year older, Jet Wu outscored Pouliot, and Pouliot never put up Jet Wu numbers at any point. Oh no, his final year in the dub, so his +2 season. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting looking back on these guys. We should do whole shows like this where we just, all right, chat, give us a guy and let's talk about him. Ty David, did you guys get a Dice and Ice invite? Media does not go to Dice and Ice. Unless you're like,
pretend media.
No, that's not what I was gonna say, Grady.
Oh.
That's rude. If you're in-house media, and I think there was a couple. I think Sat and Dan did their show from there, and they're not in-house media. That's not what I'm saying. Just so I don't get clipped and everybody starts trying to start stuff. And people, no, Ty, I'm not gonna tell you who was there. He's like, was Faber there? He's like asking me all this stuff. I don't know. Anyways, Quads and Harm. What's your take on the San Jose Sharks third jersey? Can you pull this up, Grady? The San Jose Sharks.
I haven't
Did you put it in the work
these yet.
Absolutely not. This just got thrown into the YouTube live chat. You got to
Give
do
me
it
a
on the
few
fly.
minutes here.
A few minutes.
A few minutes. What the heck?
No process to get these into this show.
Okay.
This doesn't happen like that.
These new ones. It's the fin. They have a fin.
Did you see that Rafi Torres in the original teaser?
I thought you were gonna say, did you
What?
see Rafi Torres
Yeah.
living
Decking
through
Frank
Brendan
Corrado?
Gallagher last night?
Oh,
We'll get to that.
the Nate
this is
Schmidt
jersey.
trade, by the way. The Nate Schmidt trade with Vegas was pretty solid.
Oh,
Was it
that's another
third-
good one.
Third or
Every-
fourth
yeah.
rounder. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, third rounder.
It like as in we thought it was going to be good and
Yeah.
it didn't work out.
Yeah. But that didn't work out because they had no defensive system. But anyways, this is what it looks like. Do you see it? The fin jersey?
Yeah, I've seen it now.
You got it upgraded?
I'm working on it.
Okay. Sharks unveil new Cali Finn third jersey, pay tribute to Hispanic heritage of San Jose and dedicated fans. This is from the Hockey News. I just read that headline. Interesting. Called the Cali Finn. So I like the parts on the wrist that, like kind of the stripes.
Yeah.
I've worn some striped sweaters, although I've been told not to.
I think these are sharp.
I like them. I'd like to see them. And you know what? The Stadium Series ones came out as well today. And I would like to see them all in full uniform.
Oh, do you want
because-
those ones too now?
Yeah, if you want.
Oh, okay.
It's up to you.
Killing me here, Quads.
Well, I didn't know it was that hard.
You know what? You know what? It was solved all of this had you just put in the show prep.
But I didn't know we were going to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
the anyone else segment. Anything can happen. Also,
Fair.
Lachlan, who used to work at what's that place called? Lachlan, Fear the Fin. Yeah. Okay. Fear the Fin. Yeah. That's Lachlan has some ties with the San Jose Sharks, and they are mid. I like the Devils Stadium Series jerseys. They look like they might glow in the dark. That might be cool. And
There
yeah,
they
Grady's
are.
got them up here. Yeah, I don't know. I think the logo is kind of boring.
Yeah, I wish
Here,
they did.
Let's bring in Lachlan here to talk
bring him on.
about
Bring
this.
him on.
What do you
Lachlan,
think,
what the hell,
Lachlan?
man?
Okay, so I think the big round logo on the front looks super weird. Like it's so clear it's supposed to be the patch on the shoulder
Yes.
that it just doesn't. And they have another patch on the shoulder that says Northern California on it that looks basically the same. It just has kind of the state outline on it as well. So I think it would have just looked better with the regular Shark logo for them. I don't know why they would not want to use that logo considering it's one of the best in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Good take.
Good take, Har.
Is
Good
my
take.
job in jeopardy here?
Can you actually we'll get to the Stadium Series after. You take your time, Grady. No rush. We got a lot of other
Thank
stuff.
you, David.
This Brendan Gallagher hit. Let's talk about that. You want to go there? How many games? We don't have to show the clip.
Well, I think it's a phone hearing, so it can't be longer than 5.
Yes. Okay. So I said it was going to be 5, and I was hanging out with my buddy yesterday, and he's like, "It's got to be 7." I was like, "Dude, it's NHL player safety. They're not giving him 7 games. They're not giving him 7 games." But that was legitimately like Rafi Torres level, and not to diminish how bad Rafi Torres hits were, but it was bad. Like it was very, very bad.
Really violent. I agree with you. 5, sounds about right. I wouldn't have even minded longer, to be honest.
Well, when you got a guy running the Department of Player Safety that has a clothing line called Violent Gentlemen,
Those hats. Those
They,
Canucks Army hats are violent gentlemen. I found out.
they tend to side on this side of being a little too light. Quickly on Raffi Torres, we interviewed him last year on Sakaris and Price, and we were talking about his some of his questionable hits, and he's like, unprompted, he's like, yeah, I'm driving down the street and I see someone at a crosswalk with their head down texting, and I just want to get out of my car and deck them in the head.
What? That is not
That's who
normal
Raffi
behavior.
was.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Oh, that's not awesome. It's fun. He was joking, obviously.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That he
Was he though?
yeah. Good point. Yeah, that hit though. It was bad. Like, it was bad. And for those that haven't seen it, you can look it up. Adam Pelech is carrying the puck out of the Islanders zone, and Gallagher just sees him.
And Pelech has had injury problems this year.
Dude, and
Poor guy.
it wasn't even close to being a hockey play. Like, it was just oh, here we go. Here we go. Like, I'm going to lead with my elbow. Like, he has the opportunity to hit him in the head with his shoulder, which isn't good. Pelech has his head down, so you have the opportunity to hit him in the head with your shoulder, which is not any better, but it is a little bit better than lifting up your elbow and clipping him in the face. Like, that's bad. That was a bad hit. Yeah, 5 games. I say it should be 7, but we know it's going to be 5 max. I'm going to guess, from the start that it would be 5 games.
Well, 5 seems logical, so it'll probably be 4.
2 and a fine. Someone's like 2. So yeah, Ty David, probably 2 games.
$5,000 fine.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, wait, did it just get announced? It just got announced as we were talking
Oh,
about
really?
it. 5 games for
okay.
Gallagher. Jeez, man. 5
Department of Player Safety strikes again.
5 games. Yeah, okay.
Do you want to see these jerseys?
Yeah, let's bring up
Stadium
Stadium Series. Yeah, Stadium Series. Let's pull them up. We'll bring John Scott back on the show to talk about player safety. Yeah, Philly just said, what do we have to do?
Yeah.
Oh, here's what we already have. New Jersey
Those
said
aisles are ugly.
they are.
Some of the photos I was just looking at, they almost look red. I know they're going for the orange look, but
The Isles ones look like the Oilers' crappy alternates from that one season.
Yeah.
they look like knockoff ones you'd find at Zeller's back in the day.
Well, that's what the
Kind of like what
Rangers
the
one kinda
Oilers,
looks like too.
yeah, the Oilers old ones where they didn't have like any
Yeah. Can you
lines
hear
on
me,
the
Grady?
sides.
I just said that.
Oh.
But
I'm only
the,
doing 3 things at once. back here.
the Rangers one. That's the one that
That's the best one, I think.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I'm undecided on how I feel about it. I think the worst one is the Isles one.
Yes.
The Flyers one is just, okay, you didn't try, which is fine, but you didn't try, so I'm not even gonna rank it. And then
I kind of like the Devils one.
I like the Devils one the most. I do.
I do.
Grady, do you like the Devils one more than the Rangers one? Or do you? Or
Close.
sorry, other way around, because you like the Rangers one. Did you like the Rangers?
Yeah, the
one
Devils
Devils?
one's not bad. I really like red and black.
I
as the
just
color
want the
scheme.
Devils one to glow in the dark. That's all I'm gonna say. If it glows in the dark, it's 10 out of 10. Coolest thing ever. I like light up shoes, glow in the dark.
At least it doesn't say Jersey across it.
Oh, those
those
something
are
else. Helmet, gloves. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stadium Series. Okay. Do we have anything else here? Lock in the crease. Lou Lamoriello hates flashy jerseys. Love it. Okay. Anything else that we want to get in the YouTube live chat here? I don't think I see anything. I think that's it for today. So with that, let's move on to our brief game preview of Saturday's game against the Columbus Blue Jackets, which means it's time for our Light the Lamp contest, brought to you by our friends at 4 Winds Brewing. Wow, this is funny. Okay, so you know how we do this where I look at what my script was last time? Because my ad scripts are based on days of the week. So yesterday, I read out some team. Colorado. I read out Colorado. Or Wednesday.
You got the right one this time.
Wednesday, I read out Colorado, or didn't read it out, but I said that was the last team written. Someone was like, holy cow, Colorado was so long ago. Someone looked it up and said, yeah, the last Wednesday the Canucks played on was against the Colorado Avalanche. So guess who is on this one? The last time the Canucks played, and we did a read for a Saturday. Not the last time the Canucks played on a Saturday. One where the Canucks played in the morning. So we did a show. It was Columbus. So my script already says it. There you go. Vancouver is playing Columbus tomorrow night. We want to know who's going to score the first goal for Vancouver. If you nail it, you could win a $25 gift card to the Four Winds Tap Room located at 72nd and River Road in Delta. Enter by following us on social media. Keep an eye out for the scheduled post that's going to go out tomorrow and comment who you think will light the lamp and score the first goal tomorrow night. Winners will be contacted directly. Check us out at Canucks Army or at Canucks Convo on Twitter, at CanucksArmy.com on Instagram, and Canucks Army on Facebook. And make sure that you ask about Four Winds Light Lager at your local liquor store or have some delivered to your front door through the online shop at fourwindsbrewing.ca. Four Winds Brewing. Got some right behind us. And folks, in the YouTube live chat, let me know. Do you like the Four Winds for those watching?
Oh, yeah.
Do you like the Four Winds more behind or in front? Because I like it behind. I like the desk to be a little more clean. And I put them behind. I made the executive decision to put them behind. I can't point on camera for some reason.
Quick tip for you quads.
Mhm.
When you're referencing days in broadcasting, don't say today, tomorrow, yesterday. Say Friday, Saturday, because there's a good chance that people watching this might not be watching the same day. So then you really throw them for the loop. And then you invite trolls into the comments. Say, does David not know what day of the week it is? Blah, blah,
They would be
blah.
correct.
All you young whippersnappers out there, just remember that.
No, I know.
You
it's Friday.
aged yourself 10 years by saying
I know.
young whippersnappers.
Okay,
I
here
don't
we
think
go.
I've ever used that.
Sam Wilson asked in the chat, why did you guys pick 2016? And Grady responded in the chat and said, because Quads is a PLD hater. And a few people pointed out that Quads is yeah, I'm a little petty.
We should have done 2014 first. Because of
2014, yeah.
the Virtanen draft.
Yeah.
Who did you have guys taken?
Oh,
Quickly?
I gotta look
William
at that.
Nylander?
We'll
Nikolai
save
Ehlers?
that for another.
Thatcher
Dylan Larkin?
Demko.
No, not that early.
No, I would.
But you just said no goalies in
Best
the last
goalie
one. Now
in
you're changing
franchise
the rules
history.
again.
For those that
This
saw
guy.
Luongo play, was he as good as Thatcher Demko?
Oh.
Did you see
I saw
Mr.
that.
Booth? Mr. Booth
Yeah.
put out a tweet. He goes, for those of you that saw Pavel Bure play, was he as good as Connor Garland?
It was Hoglander, I think.
Oh, was it? Yeah, whatever. It was so good. So funny. Okay. Anything you actually wanted to preview about the Columbus Canucks game? They're going to play. I'll be in the building. We're going to have a full stand cheese. It's going to be a good one. Canucks have a long break after that. Then they got the All-Star week. I've delivered our show schedule already, but I'll do it again for this show. We're going to be back on Monday, Tuesday, away Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think Tuesday's show, Harmon, we're going to have to do some drafting of All-Star teams. Although you never really know how it's
Ooh.
going to go, but let's both put
We're gonna
ourselves.
draft all-star teams.
I think so.
We're gonna split hairs between. I guess. Okay.
You know what we're
can
gonna do?
that. You know what?
You know what we're gonna
it's
do?
Timely.
Grady, is Lachlan here next week?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll each be a captain.
Everybody's a captain. I call Tate McRae.
I was just going to say, you're drafting Tate McRae overall, aren't you?
Tate McRae is my assistant captain for mine.
Of course she is.
Yeah, you can be whoever you want. You can be Quinn Hughes and Michael Bublé. I'm going to be Tate McRae. Who's Tate McRae's assistant captain?
McKinnon.
Oh, McKinnon. Sure. I'll be McKinnon with Tate McRae. Grady and Lachlan, you figure out who you want to be. That'll be our exercise for Tuesday. We're going to do a draft, a live draft. That's literally going to be
Bublé.
all of Tuesday's show is a live draft, and we're going to know who you want. We're going to make a draft board of all the All-Stars, and we're going to do a live draft. And then we're going to look at the end, build some graphics. People can vote on who had the best All-Star draft.
I just wish Dubois. This was a year where somehow Dubois was an all-star, so we could force Quads into somehow drafting him.
Tate would never. Tate knows her. Tate knows hockey. You know, Tate McRae's brother played in the AJHL.
Yeah.
We still haven't talked about the BCHL AJL stuff, but it's actually a pretty significant topic that I think I want to slow down, make sure I have all the right information before coming out, because it's not like Clay Stevenson, it's not like the Coquitlam Express. I can't just come spew off like I usually do. I really do want to make sure we cover it properly. So basically what we know is that 5 AJHL teams are going to come to the BCHL next year, but everything's gone quiet. Everything's gone kind of quiet lately. The AJHL has started to cancel games for unrelated reasons, but we will see what happens.
Contact your sources, pal. Come on.
That's
Get on it.
kind of what I got to do. It's just, it's been a week, man. It's been a busy week. Anyways, we'll do it. Also, Lachlan has called McDavid and Will Arnett. I call Tate McRae. I'm just saying.
I'll take Hughes then. The Hughes brothers.
All right.
Moving on.
Anything Columbus, Vancouver?
I don't know, man. Columbus is just such a meh
The
team.
Canucks better win. Like, I'll say that.
I'll say this: Voronkov and Fantilli are a ton of fun to watch.
Mhm.
So is Johnson. They've got some
Yeah.
talented,
Moody's on.
fun young forwards, but man,
I
that
really don't like
team-
Cole Sillinger.
but also like
Who
look at what
once
they did in
dated
the
Tate
offseason.
McRae.
Sorry, go on.
Look at what they did in the offseason, right? Like they went out and signed Severson to a contract
Yeah.
that's going to age terribly. They did the Benning thing where they tried to make a push for the playoffs, make win now moves, yet they're not close to being a win now team. They've still got Goodbranson on the books.
And now they're already listening to offers on Provorov.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up. Did you see the report today that
Yeah,
they're listening on guys
And
like
Laine.
Provorov and Laine? Like, oh, yeah, that's a mess. That's the no plan, right? Like that's
Gaudreau's
exactly
had
what
an
we're
awful
seeing.
year.
Yeah, exactly.
They had a great pool of young talent. It just feels like they just got a little too far ahead of themselves. Too quick.
too quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get to our Betway Bet of the Day and get out of here on this Friday afternoon. Betway Bet of the Day is brought to you by our friends over at Betway. Grady, can you pull up the Pacific Division betting odds? Because there's two in here. One's an actual bet of the day. The other are the updated Pacific Division winner betting odds. Take a look at this, Harmon. Minus 150, the Vancouver Canucks are the favorite. In second, with plus 275 odds, Edmonton Oilers. Second best odds at winning the Pacific. The Vegas Golden Knights all the way down to 375, and LA, they're getting close to San Jose Sharks
Free-falling.
territory with plus 900 odds. They're not actually that close to San Jose Sharks, but they've slipped out.
Let
That
me
was
guess.
that was a very, very close race when we were talking about it. What, 2-3 weeks ago, Harmon? We were talking about the who could win the Pacific. Now it looks, there's a clear favorite here. That's the
Yeah.
Vancouver Canucks.
And it's funny that Edmonton is now the legit contender for Vancouver for that position now, man.
They're catching up.
They're hot. Honestly, I don't think it's the worst thing because I know people like to make fun of Edmonton, but I did not. Sure, I'm totally fine if the Canucks end up playing Edmonton in the playoffs. I'm not worried about that matchup, but I would prefer playing, like, imagine finishing really high in your division, really high in the Western Conference, and you end up having to play Edmonton round one.
Yeah.
I'd rather play an LA. I'd rather play a Nashville, in Arizona. So I think Edmonton surging, so long as they don't pass Vancouver by the end of the season, is a good thing.
Whoa. I didn't think we'd see the day. I know we have new listeners because I've seen the metrics, but we have someone in the YouTube live chat who doesn't know. He's like, who's Faber?
Oh, no.
Oh, that's going to hurt Faber's ego. I'm going to text him immediately.
Brock Faber.
Yeah, not Brock Faber. Chris Faber, the old co-host of this show.
So bringing it back to your Betway bet quads.
Yeah.
You're picking the Ducks or Sharks at plus 20 or 30,000, aren't you? You
It's
sicko.
free money. $10 returns to $200,000.
Oh, man, you'll retire.
Pull up the actual bet, Grady, because people are going to like it. It's the Vancouver Canucks. To win the Pacific Division at $10 bet at minus 150 odds will return you $16.67. Must be 19 plus play. If you choose to play, please play responsibly. That was a fun week of shows, and I really enjoyed doing the redraft with you, Harm. That's going to be a nice little thing to do. Our little retrospective shows. We'll be back on Monday, folks. We'll be back again on Tuesday for our All-Star Game draft. I think we'll have a lot of fun with that. I'm looking forward to getting to work with Tate McRae. Going to be a good time. All right. For my co-host, Harmon Dial, our technical producer, Grady Sass, and our intern, Lachlan Irvin, my name is Dave Quadrelli. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Canucks Conversation. Canucks Conversation with Harmon and Quads every weekday at 2 p.m. Be sure to check it out on the Canucks Army YouTube channel. And if you missed it, go check it out on your favorite podcast catcher app.